Assalamualaikum everyone and welcome to Radio Lums. My name is Khadija Tahir and I'm your host for the Lums Report. Continuing on with a few of our very special episodes that are happening these days, as I promised you in the past few episodes. Today I have another special guest with me. I have Anoosha Fatima. Hello Anoosha, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm good as well. Thank you for joining us here at Radio Lums. It's wonderful to have you in the studio.
Thank you for inviting me.
So I think I'll just jump into it. So you are a student at SDSB and you are a senior as well.
Yes.
How has your journey at Lums been so far?
It has been really great and really traumatizing at the same time. But I think Lums se zyada I've learned more because I've been living at Lums the whole time, not just the academic aspect. So I feel like my journey would have been much, much more different if I was just a day scholar. So I credit a lot of my growth to the fact that I was a hostelite and I was forced to live with a bunch of people that I probably wouldn't have chosen to live with. But yeah.
That's very interesting. So you are a management science major, right?
Yes,
So
I am.
how is that? How has your degree been? And like, was this what you intended when you came here, or was it completely different, or was it exactly what you wanted?
No, it definitely was not what I intended to be. मैंने अपनी Lums application submit करने से पहले इनी मिनी करके I switched from HSS to SDSB just because I was like Suleiman Dawood School of Business. मतलब some razzle dazzle in there. तो जरा सुनने में अच्छा लग रहा था. Earlier, and then I hated my first semester. I failed an accounting course for the first time. In my life, I failed something. Like, my APS se aayi thi, I had like a 3rd position in federal board in all of Pakistan.
Oh, wow.
And then I come to Lums and I like fail a course. तो वो सर बहुत ज़्यादा humbling हो गया था एकदम से. But yeah, I didn't really like my major shuru se, but then I was too scared to change it, so I just stuck with it. And here I am.
But have there been like, I feel like I'm fishing for something positive. Have there been, something good parts of it? Maybe the courses, maybe the friends, or the Lums life in general?
There definitely have been good parts. I'm a बहुत ज़्यादा negative नहीं होना चाह रही, obviously. I do enjoy like 50% of my degree, like the marketing aspect. The fact that I'm minoring in psychology, that's keeping me afloat. So, अगर ज़रा comparative analysis किया जाए ना from my SDSP courses to my psychology courses, it's so funny because like one is over here and one is over here. But the friends that I've made over here, the life that I've had, the independence I got, the freedom that I got, and all the different creative avenues that I've explored in the past 4 years, I never would have even thought of doing them had I still been at home or back in Jhelum. So I lived in Jhelum, so like that's also a surprise for people. They're like, oh, Jhelum, दरिया के पास रहते हो तुम? Yes, दरिया के पास रहती हूँ मैं.
So, what kind of creative aspects have these been? And I'm actually really interested to know that you have a minor in psychology.
Yeah.
So I think let's start with that. How did you like discover that you wanted to do that?
First of all, free elective को choose करना था for a requirement.
Of course.
So पहले I was thinking, oh, let's do political science because I'm just so woke and quirky like that. but then last moment I was like, you just stop trying to prove a point to everyone else around you. But then मैंने psychology का course वैसे उठा लिया. I don't know, in a way, it just sounded nice. But this was the first course in like 2 semesters that I actually genuinely enjoyed. And like class में बैठ के I just like absorbed everything. Osmosis हो रहा था बस मेरे. So yeah, I didn't realize that there are also so many subjects that I haven't even explored yet. और फिर उसके बाद I just kind of stuck with it. तो मुझे जितने भी free electives मिले थे मुझे उसके बाद I just psychology of love and attachment, psychology of this, human behavior, blah 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 blah. तो फिर बस मैंने कहा minor कर लेते हैं. And then that also relates to the part of the degree that I actually enjoy, marketing. तो अब मैं marketing और psychology को थोड़ा सा mix करके trying to find a job. If anyone sees this, please give me a job.
Have you, taken that? I think consumer psych is the...
I'm taking that course right now. It's so much fun. So much fun.
So I think that's the one that most closely relates to, I'd say, marketing as well.
Yeah, and over the instructor is so nice and he's so funny. The other day he took a quiz and मेरी दोस्त बैठी थी मेरे साथ आज उसको उसका quiz वापस मिला है. And what is your name was the first question. And she didn't realize कि उसके आगे -1 लिखा हुआ था. So she answered the question, and the only reason why uska ek number katta hai quiz mein is because she wrote her name on the quiz.
Oh wow, that's really interesting. I've heard a lot of stories about this course.
Yeah,
Sadly, I couldn't take it myself. So I think let's start with so you Anoosha is popularly known as Anooshalala on social media, which on Instagram and TikTok. So could you tell us a little about how that started? Like, how did your social media journey start, basically?
Initially, I made this account when I was like 17 years old, and I thought I was the cool kid who had a DSLR and I was unstoppable. But then when Lums aake maine band kar diya tha account. फिर lockdown में, because I was bored and I didn't have anything to do, तो फिर मैंने paint करना शुरू कर दिया दोबारा. And I was always a very artsy kid, but I never got the time to do it. And then I started doing it again, and I was like, oh, I'm actually good at this. So फिर I started using the account as an art account, and then I posted the paintings that I made over there, and it was sort of like a small business account. People would commission paintings from me. मैं customized portraits बना के देती थी लोगों and stuff like that. Primary बस वही था. And then मुझे थोड़ा सा बस I had my private account on the side and then this art account on the side, and then I was like, दो अलग अलग चीज़ें manage करूँ एक साथ, एक ही जगह पे सब कुछ कर लेती हूँ. And then once I started posting my own pictures and stuff, because I really like dressing up and making outfits and stuff like that. थोड़ा सा मेरा coping mechanism है. So I realized that's also something that people like a lot. And sadly, they liked it more than they liked my art. So I was like, might as well stick to this. फिर आहिस्ता आहिस्ता it started turning into an art and lifestyle account, and then the fashion blog. And initially, it was just like for myself. I didn't really think, okay, this was something I could capitalize off of. But then I like when brands started approaching me, I was like, oh my god, I didn't know that I could do this. But I just stuck with it. And now I really miss painting. एक बंदे ने मुझे message किया था कल, who got a painting made for me a year ago. And he messaged me, he's like, are you still taking commissioned orders? And I'm pretty sure like more than half of my followers don't even know that's what I did initially. And I'm both sad over there. I was like, can I make it for you? Do I want to make it for you?
Kind of like an identity crisis.
Yeah, but then I didn't reply to him. So if you see this, I'm sorry. But yeah.
Would you basically consider making art again, or is like the current like your blog, like as a lifestyle blog, is that the direction you want to take it in?
I definitely want to do art again. I feel like the dream is to have like the space, like a studio space at least. Because in Lums, the main thing that stops me is कि अच्छा मैं कमरे में जाऊँ, मैं पेंट्स निकालूँ, मैं कहीं से पेपर कप ढूंढ के उसमें पानी डालूँ ताकि मैं ब्रशेस को साफ कर सकूँ. Like the most difficult part for me while painting is to just actually sit down and start. That's it. Like एक दफ़ा मैं बैठ के मैंने शुरू कर लिया ना, फिर बस easy scene है उसके बाद. It's not like मैं बना सकूँगी या नहीं बना सकूँगी. So I feel like that barrier will be overcome if I have my own like space. And also when Lums wali padhai थोड़ी सी side पे हो जाए.
Definitely.
But I do want to get back into it again. I feel like it's a really good outlet for me.
So that's really interesting because for art you always need like, I feel like a specific kind, like a mindset, or like a space to just focus on that one thing as well. I am terrible at art, but I started watercolor painting over the pandemic, and I'm not that good at it. I
bet you're probably good at it. You're probably one of those people who are like, nahi aata. For the Mona Lisa recreate kiya.
I haven't done it in quite a while, but I understand what you're talking about. I think so let's talk about, so you're a model now as well, and you have you mentioned brands approached you. How did that start? What was the first brand, and how did that start basically?
The first brand that approached me, I have no idea. I remember the first blog that I made an Instagram feed post for, it was Start. Their Instagram handle is like Start Official or something. My friend just had good terms with someone on their team, and he was like, हम तुम्हें PR भेज देंगे तो बस content बना देना. So I was like, fit, oh my god, I'm getting a free sweatshirt. Life cannot get better than this. But हाँ तो फिर बस I make content anyway, so I was like, oh चलो मैं एक तीर से दो शिकार, free कपड़े मिल गए मुझे, तस्वीर post कर लूँगी ये वो. And then why can't I remember? Initially it was also a lot of unpaid work. Barter deals पे होता था कि we'll give you stuff and then you create content for us, but we won't pay you. And I'd be like, I don't want to get paid. I love exposure. I don't love exposure.
No, definitely.
Yeah. But फिर यार क्या मुझे कुछ याद ही नहीं है अपनी ज़िंदगी के बारे में. हाँ तो आहिस्ता आहिस्ता बार्टी डील्स करते करते then I started getting paid like bare minimum कि ओ अच्छा तुम्हें 2,000 और 3,000 और 5,000. I remember I made a TikTok for this bedsheet company Tulip because their manager was also a free promo also a Lums grad, and they paid me to make a TikTok video for them. And that was the first time anyone paid me to make a TikTok video. And I was like, people make money off of this? And all if you do it for free. फिर उसके बाद मुझे थोड़ा थोड़ा एहसास होना शुरू हो गया कि नहीं, it's not just कि oh my god, I'm getting something for free. You also need to place some value on the time that you're putting into it. And then if I'm making this content, then it was a trade-off. I'm not painting, I'm making content instead. So if I'm charging people to make paintings, but I'm not charging them to make content, that's not fair to myself also. Then I started making other friends, like connections banna shuru ho gaya, other influencers and other content creators. And then unko pata laga and they were like, are you out of your mind? And then I was like, yeah, I should start asking for money. Phir thoda thoda, like aista aista karke karna shuru hua. And now, ab jaake like a couple of months ago, I reached a point where if people don't give me the quote that I want, then I just say, acha fir we'll work again later, like abhi nahi kar sakte. And then initially I would be like, oh my god, Anoosha, but 2 rupees is better than 0 rupees. 2 rupees is not better than 0 rupees. हाँ तो थोड़ा सा ज़रा खुद से भी crisis था about managing your own self-worth and the price that you're putting on yourself.
And it's important to realize the value of the time and the work you're putting in.
I didn't realize that apparently the work that you do has some value.
It does. Achha, so I think my next question is like, what's your favorite campaign been so far, or the favorite company that you've worked with, or like maybe even like a creative project that you've done?
I really liked 2 videos that I made, ek for Outfitters and ek for Sapphire West. And I think initially because they gave a lot of creative freedom, but mostly because I worked with my friend Simon on them. He was the filmmaker, and he had all the creative direction, and then it's just a very comfortable environment to work with. So even if I look at those videos compared to the videos that I've made for actual brand shoots वगैरह, so I just feel a lot more like I was myself in those videos. So I really, really like the end product of those. And brands that I've worked with, I think Beach Tree probably the most. They're really nice. I love their team. Also probably the most consistent work that I've had with them. But I think it comes down to the environment that you have and that you're working with. Because I know some brands that I've worked with, they've paid me really well, but they have had like absolutely no respect for the work that I've been putting in. So like I've gone to shoots and I've done the work and like 10 ghante ka pura maine shoot karke aayi hu. And then I come back to my room and I just cry because I'm like, oh, nobody respects me. So like it gets a little bit, it doesn't just boil down to money then, because initially that's what I thought, okay, oh, it's money, you have to work for money. But then if I have to work for the same brand again, but they don't respect me as a person, then no amount of money that they give me will ever compensate for that.
So what makes a good environment for you? Like what's most important to you in like a work environment, you'd say?
I think the way that people speak to you, first of all, and then I don't like it when people mislead you by like they call you to work based on certain terms and conditions, and then you agree on that, and then they're like, oh, now that you're finally here and everything is done and you can't really escape the situation, let's just change everything entirely. That's not something I respect, and that's not professional at all. So I really, really don't like that. And uske alawa, just the fact that you are there to do a job is because that you have a skill set that no one else can do it. Like, of course, there are other people with a similar skill set, but us point pe aapo, and they found you to do that job. But if people call you to do a job and then they also try to demean you and belittle you for doing the same thing, कि, oh, matlab, हाँ, आप ये कर रहे हो. Like, I've had people approach me for really big companies ke campaigns, and I give them a quote and I'm like, oh, this is what I want to charge. And then they say, oh my god, but like, sirf 40,000 followers के साथ आप तो इतनी छोटी मोटी influencer हो, आप ऐसा करो, आप एक बिरयानी की plate लो और 2,500 rupees लो हमसे और कर दो. And I'm like, नहीं. तो yeah, वो भी
That's
होता है.
terrible. Oh, I didn't know the conditions are so bad. What would you say to someone who is thinking of starting in this direction as a lifestyle blogger, as an influencer, or someone who'd be working on campaigns as a model?
I feel like initially you just have to make sure that you enjoy the work you do yourself also. Like, if I did not enjoy modeling, then I never would have been able to do it. Because I guess that kind of holds true for anything that you do. You have to like, you can only do it properly if you enjoy doing it. But also, if you don't enjoy what you're doing, तो फिर you also don't have the motivation to keep going when things are going a little bit south. Like बीच में time periods आते हैं when like I think campaigns का भी थोड़ा सा season होता है quote unquote.
Yeah, definitely.
So like there come times in between where I have a lot of work and then बीच में एक महीना आ जाएगा जिसमें मेरे पास कोई काम नहीं होगा. And then I'll be like, oh my god, who am I? What am I doing with my life? Existential crisis kicks in. Is my career like spiraling? Does nobody want to work with me again? Well, it's literally not even about me. It's just about the season. But then even in times like that, you just have to accept that, oh, if I'm not getting paid to do something, I enjoy it so much that I will do it myself on my own. Like I have collaborated with makeup artists and like, of course, both of us don't get any monetary benefit out of it, but they enjoy their art. I enjoy what I do. And then we collaborate and then we make something out of it कि हमारा अपना content निकल आए, which is just, we're literally just doing it because it's fun. And I think enjoying what you do and trying to like put other people's perspective on the side while you're doing it is also really important. Otherwise, it is a very brutal industry out there and you're going to need something to keep you going.
What are your plans for this blog? Like post, like what's the future for Anooshalala?
My sister was asking me this question literally like 4 hours ago. Graduate होने लगी हो क्या? I don't know exactly. I really, really enjoy modeling and everything, but I don't think it's a sustainable career for me. And I also feel like my mom wouldn't want it to be my full-time job. But of course, I really, really want to grow in the content creation aspect of things, but not just on my blog. I also want it to be like specialize a little bit on social media optimization, I guess. Thoda sa main zara SDSP perspective se bol rahi hu ab now that I'm in the job market. But I didn't realize how much just posting on social media gave me a lot of insight on marketing strategies and how to target certain audiences, and then how then I launched my own brand with a couple of my friends. So it also gave me a lot of practical insight, which I somehow did manage to relate to my degree, like you said before. So I always want to be in the content creation aspect of it. I think the future is like entirely digital, social media. Jisne time se shuru kiya hai, they do have an upper hand. But I think the modeling thing will probably take a sideline eventually. I don't want it to, but like I also want to think a little bit realistically. So yeah.
Tell us more about your brand. I didn't know about that.
Have you heard of Justaju.pk?
I've heard the name, yeah.
Yeah, so four of my friends, me including me, we were 4 friends. Me, Saim, Haris, and Farhan. We had to write a case study for a Principles of Marketing class. So हमने सोचा कि guys कितना crazy होगा अगर हम overachievers की तरह case study लिखने के बजाय पहले पूरा एक brand launch करें और फिर उसके ऊपर case study लिखें. And then we were all like, oh wow, करते हैं. Then वो project change हो गया था, but we took a lot of help with Sir Adnan Zahid. And all of us pool in money. हमने चीज़ें डिज़ाइन की, हमने दोस्तों को पकड़ के उनको, this was before I got into modeling myself. हमने दोस्तों को पकड़ के उनसे modeling कराई और लाहौर में पूरी video shoot की. Simon Harris filmed it, edited it. First launch was a huge success. Like I think 2 दिन के अंदर we got sold out. Per second launch, you've probably seen the Chili Milli and Kokomo hoodies वगैरह and stuff.
Yeah.
That was just the Jew. Per second launch के बाद, Haris had other commitments. He got really busy with his work as well. And then Saim had to go to Netherlands for an exchange semester. So they had to sort of leave Justaju. So we disbanded for a while. And then we asked them, like, oh, if me and Farhan want to continue, will it be fine? They were like, haan, kar lo. Then we reached out to another graphic designer, my friend Maham. I don't know if you've heard of IRDK Maham.
On Instagram. Right?
On Instagram, yeah.
I have.
So we teamed up with her. She became a part of Justaju. हमने Third launch was board game themed, like snakes and ladders wali thi. We had a shirt jiski the back of the shirt is like a fully functioning Ludo board.
Oh wow.
Yeah, तो फिर third launch के बाद अब now things have been on hold for a while because I got really, really busy with my own work. And then Maham also, I mean, I don't know how busy Maham got. I'm sure it's kind of on me. I got really busy. So now it's on hold for a while. But we did like 2-1 साल के लिए 3 हमने volumes निकाली थी. So that also happened. तो उसका सारा लम्स के डोर्म रूम से उसके सारे लॉजिस्टिक्स मैनेज करना, ऑर्डर्स पैक करके, इनवॉइसेस प्रिंट करा के, आउट गेट पे पूरा इस तरह उठा के फिर कोरियर वाले बॉय को देना. इट वाज a really difficult job. बहुत breakdowns हुए उस पे भी. But yeah, that also happened.
But the fact that you all managed it in the Lums hostels is just amazing to hear
Yeah,
about.
it was really crazy. पता नहीं कैसे हुआ था. हमने तो launch 3 के लिए we were really behind schedule. And हमें उसके शूट करने के लिए we couldn't figure out कि हम कहाँ पे जाइए वो. तो हमने literally लम्स के सुपर स्टोर में उसका शूट किया था. बस एडिट अच्छा कर लिया था ये वो. But हाँ, बहुत सारी improvising की थी.
That's a crazy story. It's very, very interesting. I think that's it from my side. I've had a really fun time talking to you. Thank you for coming.
I feel like I've been just blabbering for a really long time. मेरा मुंह dry हो गया एकदम से.
No, that's the purpose of the Lums report. I love having guests on and just having them go on and on. I can listen to
complain.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
Yeah.
That's what I think. That's what student life is kind of about, like complaining. That's what makes it fun.
Yeah. Fun is gonna come to an end in a month now. I feel like I've told you about a lot of my identity crisis that I have like on a weekly basis.
It's okay. I'll tell you about mine also, because this show is my third last for the Lums report because I am graduating as well. So you're like one of the last guests I will interview for something I've been doing for over, I think, a year or more.
Yikes.
So yeah, the identity crisis is mutual.
Okay, I feel better. I feel better about feeling bad.
Thank you so much, Anoosha. You are listening to Radio Lums. I'm Khadija Tahir, your host for the Lums Report. Stay tuned to Radio Lums.